Hey guys, Blizzard Designer here. Blizzard announced housing last year around the 20th anniversary. There was a lot of hype and a lot of excitement for it. I know there's been a lot of speculation and a lot of people requesting it for years. Um, so today I'd like to do a video just kind of going over everything we know so far, right? And just kind of talk about all the things and have it in one spot so we can know what to look forward to. Here is the first article where they mention it, right? A word on World of Warcraft for 2025. So, in the part of the article where they said there's no place like home, there's the road ahead couldn't be more exciting for us as we move ever closer to the next chapter in the World Sword Saga, World of Warcraft Midnight. We have so much more to share with you as we continue to move through the War Within and everything else we have planned as we progress through the year. Real quick, we know now that it's probably going to come before midnight. On the roadmap that they have, the most updated one that I've seen shows a little house icon for winter of this year, winter of 2025, whereas midnight is probably going to come at the beginning of 2026, potentially a little bit later, probably in spring, most likely, maybe the end of winter. During Warcraft Direct in November, we released a teaser for just one of the new features that we're looking forward to bringing you: housing. I show bits of that trailer in this video, just so you guys can see that too and get a refresher on that as well. Believe me, we all found it so hard keeping it a secret, they say, but seeing your excitement as a reveal made it all so worth it. Housing is more than a feature to us. No matter what we create, it's the community that will help to define how housing gives everyone a place in Azeroth to truly make their own. Our passionate and dedicated housing development team will be working alongside the community to bring you something truly special. Our eyes and ears are always open to you as the journey home begins with you. So they mentioned that they want feedback. They want us to speak out and tell them what we want so that they can make housing something that everyone will love. Right? So that's what I want to do. That's what this channel is all about. That's what I'm hoping that we can all do together, that we can work together and we can all share our voice so that everyone has a chance to share their opinion, and hopefully they'll be able to make some of those things come true, and hopefully they'll be able to implement those ideas. So let's go on to the next article. Looks like it was released the same day, but this is a first look at housing. Right off the bat, one thing I want to point out, I didn't see this until just recently when I was reviewing these articles before this video. They have a griffin right here next to this guy's house, which is pretty cool. I think that kind of soft confirms that we'll be able to have like a stable or a place for our mounts. I hope that's what it is. It could be like a Flight Master Griffin, but that doesn't make as much sense to me. Especially like in an individual house. Like maybe your neighborhood would have something like that. But as you can see in the background here, this looks like Stormwind. Like that looks like the Stormwind gate. Which, if you haven't seen my video where I talk about neighborhoods and my predictions for neighborhoods, this kind of proves one of my predictions right here. I'm pretty sure the Stormwind neighborhood is going to be south of Stormwind, south of the city, right outside the gate, right between Stormwind, Westfall, and Duskwood. Sorry, it always takes me a second to remember those names. I'm a horror player, mainly. But yeah, so that's exciting because I'm pretty sure I'm right, but we'll see, obviously. The idea of being able to have mounts outside your house is really cool. This windmill is awesome. I want that house. I want my house to have a windmill next to it. Or sorry, water mill. Windmill would be cool too. I wouldn't say no to that. I really like the fact that there's like a waterfall. There's kind of different levels, and it just adds a lot of interest and a lot of uh, yeah, visual interest to the neighborhood. Okay, so the construction of the new housing system in Azeroth is underway, and it's still underway. We're taking you behind the scenes to give you an early look at what the housing development team has been working on. Watch your step and don't mind the dust. Hard hats are not required. Welcome home, adventurers. Okay, so yeah, so basically this is just showing some of the first kind of examples, some of the concept art that they had. They talk about the 3 pillars for housing. I want to look at this concept art. I did download it. I might show it better, but just right here, look at this. I think it's so cool. It's very rough, but I love it. It's very, very much Warcraft style. It's beautiful. This is so cool. I want this deer skull for my wall, and this like bonfire and a chandelier. like hanging from the ceiling, but it's like a hard, like iron, thick chain chandelier. Very horde, very orc, and it's beautiful. Yeah, so see this? I didn't even notice this before. This looks like food being cooked over a fire on the ground with like pillows on the ground. That's so cool. That's crazy. Um, Gets me so excited. So this is the rugged decor, which is kind of the horde orc style, is how I would describe it in 2 words. So there are 3 pillars, right? 3 pillars for housing. Boundless self-expression, which we've seen a lot of that so far, and I'm excited to talk about that. Our highest priority is to allow players to build a house that shows off their own personal tastes or their warbands, acts as a desired backdrop for role-playing, or just allows players to create something on a flight of fancy. The toolset should be easy enough for someone with no 3D experience to be comfortable with and use successfully, but it should also be powerful enough that players can surprise us with their creations. This is what I want to do. I hope that I can make at least one thing that is just crazy and really cool, and I'm going to try. I'm going to try hard. The gamut of decor options spans not just the cultures of Azeroth, but the many expansions of World of Warcraft as well. That makes me excited. Second one, deeply social. It's more fun with other players. Housing should be no different. While you can enjoy it purely on your own, the systems are designed at a fundamental level to encourage interacting, playing, and progressing with friends, neighbors, guilds, and the wider community in a meaningful way. And then the third one is long-lasting journey, evergreen, right? That's something that's been really important to them lately, is evergreen, and I think that's cool. I think the idea that we're not just trying to put something on the box of Midnight just so it'll sell is good. You know, longer-term things, right? I think that's how you're going to get people more interested in it. So that's really cool. Most players should want a house in Azeroth, and if a player wants a house, they can have a house. Furthermore, housing is being designed to scale with the player's interests. If someone wants to spend dozens of hours a week on their house, that's great. If they're only interested in coming and going once or twice a month, that's great too. So they're talking about working on their home. Let's look at this one real quick. This is the folk decor. So this is very Alliance human style. So you got candles in your chandelier, and there's wood. It's not just chains. You got a nice armchair with like furniture, with an instrument. That's cool. I like that they showed chests in both of them. I wonder if we'll have chests for like storage. That could be kind of cool. Anyway, it's cool. I do like this aesthetic as well. So that's the folk decor, right? So a home for everybody. Now this is what I want to talk about right here. In my one video, I said I'm pretty sure the Horde neighborhood is going to be just north of Orgrimmar. And right here, you got Azshara in the background. Right? You got the trees of Azshara, you got the coast, the part that sticks out, the goblins like shaped. And then you have the coast of Durotar right here. And then you got kind of those gray rocks that I show in the video. There's like that gray cliff right there, kind of in between. Anyway, this matches perfectly with the area I show if they just like cut it out, basically. So we'll see. We'll see if my prediction's right. But this looks really cool. I really like this idea. These houses down here in this cave is hilarious. The ones kind of higher up are cool too. I kind of personally, I think I'd rather be closer to the coast. Like maybe up here where I can see the coast, but I get a little bit of the Azshara trees and a little bit of that part. I think would be really cool. So that's exciting to see. Before we go, we want to mention the concept of neighborhoods as a small tease. Houses are organized into roughly 50 plot neighborhoods, letting players live next to each other, work together, and share in the rewards of being part of the neighborhood. Neighborhoods are instant, but crucially also persistent. So your neighborhoods can be your neighbor, or so your neighbors can be your neighbors for years to come, or until one of you moves. Neighborhoods also come in 2 flavors. Public neighborhoods, which the game servers are responsible for creating as needed and maintaining. Private neighborhoods, created by groups of friends or guilds to inhabit, progress, and customize together. So while an individual player can have a house, a community can have a neighborhood. So the vibe I'm getting from all the interviews and the videos I've seen is that neighborhoods are going to have a lot of customization to them, and it sounds like we'll be able to put furniture and decor outside. At first I thought it was only going to be in our lots, but the devs, the housing team in their interviews, they kind of made it sound like almost like we could maybe do more than that. Like we could use our decor and our furniture to contribute to the whole neighborhood and be able to decorate and build together, which I think would be really cool if we can. Maybe we only aren't limited to our plot. We don't know yet, but I think if there's more, that would be cool. If it is just our plot, then I think it'd be fun just to see what different people do, and the themes that neighborhoods come up with working together. It's a really cool idea. I'm super excited. I can't wait to see more of the Horde neighborhood and the pictures of that. Okay, so now we're starting to get into kind of the bigger. Okay, now we're starting to get into deeper parts of the housing. A look at interior design, or Blizzterior design, if you know what I mean. In our previous housing article, we shared a high-level overview of our plans and philosophies. This time around, we're getting concrete and discussing the specifics for decorating systems. This article only focuses on interior decoration systems and only in a single room. Excuse me, sorry. There's still plenty to cover beyond the basics of decoration, but that's for another time. This is all work in progress. Work in progress. I don't know what I just said. Um, Liable to change. Most likely will. It's still very new, and that's okay. So here they move a table. You see there's a grid on the ground. It moves freely, or you can move it snap to the grid. So you can give yourself a little bit more control if you want, or you can kind of have that freedom, and it snaps to the ground if you want, for the most part. It also can snap to the wall. Again, there's a grid. Looks like this grid might be more like smaller, like more specific, or no, what's the word? Precise. That grid on the wall might be more precise than the ground. Maybe it's just because the wall isn't quite as big as the ground surface area. But as you see, you can snap it and it will slide along the wall, and it will follow the wall and it will follow the other furniture. Or you can put it on the ground and it will follow the ground. So lots of control there. The snapping is really nice. This is all in the simple mode, by the way. I believe they call it simple mode. It's like the basic, kind of just super easy building mode. But honestly, it looks really powerful. So you can see when you put stuff on the table, everything moves with the table too. And I bet if you moved this bed back here, this book would move with that bed. Is that a night elf bed? Maybe it's like undead. I don't know. That's a cool looking bed though. Example of items being placed on a parent object, which is a word used in 3D a lot. Players can show a grid and enable snapping, which will snap decorations to points on the grid, helping you keep everything neat and tidy. You'll even shrink down when you're placing something on a smaller surface, like a table. Oh, I didn't notice that. Let's watch that one more time. So there's a bigger grid, and there's a smaller grid. That's cool. I like how it shows it on the rug, too. You see the rug there? And then we see, and it's not on the rug when you move the table. That's cool. That's interesting. Advanced interior design. So now we're getting to the advanced mode. But that's so restrictive, we hear you saying. Don't worry, just switch to advanced mode and feel the true power at your fingertips. I have to say real quick before we watch this, the simple mode looks more advanced to me than a lot of building modes and different versions I've seen of different games. I play a lot of games like this, building houses, and just, like sandbox games and that kind of thing. The fact that you can snap and then turn off the snap and just kind of have free place and free rotation, and it snaps to the wall or other surfaces, is incredible just by itself. But we haven't even got to the advanced mode yet. So here with the advanced mode, it gives them a little gizmo with 3 arrows, which will be along 3 different axes or different directions, right? This allows for very precise placement, which is awesome. I want to look one more time though. So, wait, I think it actually, so this said customize. What did that say there? Cleaning mode, customize mode, advanced mode, and then simple mode. Okay. Actually, I did want to look at that. Yeah, that's really cool. So the cleaning, I'm guessing, would be to pick up stuff, just take it and put it back in your chest, put it back in your inventory. So if you wanted to get rid of this chair because it doesn't match the vibe of this room, then you could clean it up. Customize mode, I'm sure, is the colors. I wonder if there's more to it than just the dyes, but that's for later. We'll see. That's really cool. And it looks like this might be like different, like snapping to the ground, maybe turning off snap to the wall, that kind of thing. And here we get a kind of a picture of what it's going to look. I like this. I like that it's big. We can see the picture of the item, and it's not just like a little icon or something like that. It's like, just an actual picture of it where so you can tell what you're grabbing. Different categories is nice, and the fact that we can search is really nice. And it sounds like from the interviews and from like Tally's video he mentioned specifically, he searched Silvermoon and he got a bunch of Blood Elf stuff. So the fact that there's different keywords and searchable and everything is really really nice. That's awesome. See here we get a better view. This looks like this snaps to the ground, and this looks like that's kind of free. Doesn't snap to anything, maybe. That's my guess. Again, though, any of this could change. So when they turned, I didn't notice that before. When they turned to advance, it changed it. Added 4 more buttons. This looks like moving, right? But like kind of back and forth. So there's just the 2 gizmos, kind of X and Y or whatever it is. It seems like it changes based on the game or the program. This one, I'm guessing, it moves up, down, maybe, or maybe that's what that is. It's kind of blurry. It's hard to tell. And this one looks like it's rotating, so that's cool. Oh, I bet one of them is the size. I bet one of them is like a scale. It's probably this one. Yeah, so there's moving it around. And then, see, it switched over here. They move it up. So this one is up and down. This one's moving to the sides. This one is rotating. That one has to be scale. They'll probably show us, though. Advanced mode. Height. Rotate. Yep, there we go. And you see, you can rotate it on all 3 axes. Okay, so green is Y. Red is X, and then blue would be Z, which is up and down. Okay. It usually is, but in Minecraft, Z is not up and down, so sometimes I get confused. Okay, advanced mode, scale. This is really cool. This is also something that not a lot of building and sandbox games have. Other games where you can build housing or decoration or anything like that. The only one I can think of that does to a little bit is Sims, but the scaling isn't great, and the scaling also kind of breaks a lot of the furniture and stuff, but also they have a grid for a lot of the things, and so it doesn't really do too much. It's definitely not as powerful as this, which is really cool. This is very exciting. Advanced mode lets you interact and design things with very specific controls to make whatever your heart may desire. Internally using this, employees have taken bushes and made them into garland for their fireplaces, constructed a boat's prow from the bed, or made paint buckets into the small spice rack for their kitchens. I want to see these. Do they have these? This is a fireplace. Is this the garland? No, that's not. Is this the garland? That looks like it. Doesn't look like a bush though. I wish they would show this. This would be so cool to see. This is just a different furniture. Very random, I feel like, but that's okay. There's going to be a lot of that. That's what they're building this for, so that players can make random rooms. And that'll be fun. We've been dying for housing. This basically just talks about dyes and coloring. It's pretty cool. In Tally's video, from his interviews and everything, he did mention that when we have the dyes, it will be like you'll have to make the dye or buy the dye potentially. So like, for example, gold right here. You would have 1 gold dye. To change the bed to gold, you'd have to use that dye. And then if you did change the bed again, change it to a different metal color, then you would lose that gold dye that you'd used before. Like when you use it, it's a consumable, and there's no way to get it back. So it would be limited dyeing, which is interesting. I do like that idea, though. I feel like the limited furniture and the limited dyeing makes it feel more real, and like you've earned it, and like it, I think if it was all just kind of you have unlimited, then you just kind of mess around with it and do whatever. But I feel like having to craft it or buy it or get it somehow kind of adds a little bit more depth to the whole housing decoration. So this is just a layout. This is cool. I wonder, as far as their rooms are considered, is this just one? It's not decorations you can use to customize your space, but the wallpaper, ceiling, and flooring as well. I did not catch this before. I thought that was new information when they talk about it in the videos, but that's really cool. You can mix and match these for different cultures, vibes, make up your own. You can use partition objects to build walls where none were before, making you make rooms with arbitrary interiors. So these must all, yeah, these, I didn't see that before either. These are like parts of a wall, like bookshelves or something. You can see there, they're not placed super with care. It's kind of quick, it almost looks like, but it's like a curve. So this must be one room. And that's a big room. Do you see that? I mean, like, look at that. That's like a counter, I think, with seats. These look like tables with like benches. That's crazy. That's pretty big. That's a bed. That's a full bed right there. That's awesome. That gets me excited. And we could potentially have 10 of these in one house. We saw a lot of questions about what would be allowed in terms of decor. You can decorate however you want. So if you want blood elf wallpaper with a stone roof and a wooden floor, go for it. I can't wait to see more of these things, right? Because, I mean, this is kind of just like a basic stone one, but this is different, I think, than some of the other ones. So it's cool to see. I do like this stone floor a lot, actually. That's nice. Nice tile. Or slate, or. These barrels look dangerous, though. I don't think I would want to sit on that. While we're not really talking about exteriors in this article, it's worth mentioning that the outside size of your house has no bearing on how big the interior is. If you want a huge mansion outside with just one tiny room inside, or a tiny shack on the outside but a dozen rooms inside, you do you. Does this mean that we could potentially have a dozen rooms? I mean, they said we do what we want, right? So that could be cool. How do I show off my collections of transmog pets and mounts? How do professions fit in? There's so much more to discuss. And we can't wait to share more. Never mind neighborhoods. Alright, we haven't had a whole lot about neighborhoods yet. Here's another screenshot. This is cool. I like this bed. See, this is in Bellameth. We show this, actually, in my last video, where we talk about the neighborhoods, locations and stuff. In Bellameth, they have this very thing, so that's cool. It's exciting. I really like some of the style and the furniture they have there. I look forward to sharing more with you as we continue to give you more insight. Right, we have one more to look at. This one should be relatively quick. Housing rewards is about to generate enough the decoration. So here we see Argosian Crate drops from Lyra on the seat of the triumvirate in the heroic. Does it have to be heroic? Who knows? They talked about in their interviews recently, though, how they're considering if you've done a dungeon and there's going to be furniture added to it, that they might just have a vendor somewhere where you can go and buy all the rewards and you don't have to actually do the dungeon again if you don't want to. So they're going to try to turn things into, there's investment decor, which require a lot of time or costs, and then there's trophies, which would be from M+, raids, long-term achievements, all of that stuff, right? Which is really cool. I hope they go crazy with this, and it'll probably take a while. I'm assuming it's going to be over a long period of time that they'll add this, but I'm so excited just to see everything they add. And then they kind of talk about how they want housing decor to come from everywhere, right? Like reputation, some random reputation that you've never really used before. I mean, who's bought this stuff, right? I mean, I'm sure someone has. I'm not hating on this. I'm just, saying that it's exciting to see that they're using old reputations. They're using old instances, old dungeons, old achievements, other things to go towards it. More dots. This also, I'm assuming all of this is likely to change. We'll see. Maybe it won't. Maybe like this will be exactly from this. But it's cool. It's interesting. They do mention here that how if you only can get one Nixia's head, and if you have 4 chairs and you place 3 of them in your alliance house, you can only place 1 in your horde house. Right. So it's kind of back to that. These are real things. You're not just unlock it and then you have infinite of it. And then professional. All existing non-gathering primary professions. They don't want to create new professions. They want to use what they have, right? Which makes sense. I understand that. Blacksmithing creates metal. Enchanting creates floating books or glowing orbs. Jewel crafting creates decor like gems and studded, as well as decorated stoneworking. Inscription probably is going to work with wood. Like this coffin. Actually, just found out that Brill is a place. I didn't realize it's a town in Tirisfal Glades. It's just like a little undead town. I did not remember that it was named that. So I bet this is like a coffin that's actually there in that town, which is kind of cool. Some light housekeeping. We want to mention a smattering of related but smaller things as we wrap up. Only placeable if you have enough of them, based on how many you've collected, right? Then there's the unique furniture. We'll have no mention of housing-specific activities earlier. That might be better worded as neighborhood-specific activities. ... Interesting. Neighborhood-specific activities. In my ideas video, I mentioned possibly having a neighborhood garden or a neighborhood mine that's only used for decor, only used for furniture. Doesn't give you XP, it doesn't level your profession at all. None of that. You just, if you have mining or if you have herbalism, you can go to the garden, you can go to the mine, you can gather things that would help you be able to make decor or furniture. I think that that would be really cool. It would be a super fun way to add some interest and some kind of fun activities to your neighborhood and kind of make it feel more like it was like a home in a sense. Um, we're committed to an ongoing release of new decorations going back both backwards and as well as forwards. What do you want to see? So let them know what you want to see. One thing I would request, my absolute, like if I had one piece of furniture, one piece of decor that I could request, mine would be, could we have a shattered Frostmourne? Like just like some pieces, like the handle and like maybe some of the pieces, and like on like a plaque or something that we could put on the wall or we could put on like a table. That would be really, really cool. That's kind of everything so far. It's really exciting. There you go. Look forward to more news. I will be looking out for it as well. I'll make videos if something else comes out. We may get to see more about the neighborhoods and everything. This has been Blizzterior Designer, and I will see you next time.